Familia, this week we have a very interesting question. Can AI become your therapist?
Hey Enzo. Oh, this is probably too long for a voice note.
Hey Claire, I know. Save it for the podcast.
Your space for an unfiltered and candid conversation.
Skip the small talk and dive in deep. Hello Familia.
Hello.
Welcome
back
to the last episode of this season.
Oh my god.
We're not getting rid of us that easily.
Last episode of the season.
Chris,
My god, it's flown. Hasn't it flown?
It's been amazing.
8 episodes back to back.
Really
Proud
happy.
of us, you know?
Yeah, really happy about this season. Hopefully everyone is being enjoying this season as much as we have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna have like a little break,
Yeah.
just to come back with new fresh topics.
Yeah.
So basically I think like early summer probably.
Early summer we'll be back.
We're gonna be back.
But in the meantime,
Yeah,
you won't
we-
miss us.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss us
we won't
because
disappear. We have a few things
we've
coming
got
up.
some things coming up. What have we got coming up
I
first?
think I'm really excited. We're gonna have like a first, I will say like, it's not a first interview because we have done lives
Yeah.
on Instagram, but this is like a real live
In-person
interview. Yeah, really
oh my
excited.
gosh. So we're going to be sitting down with a special guest from, should we say the name? Let's say the topic.
Let's say the topic. Yeah, let's say the name of the topic.
We're going to
I
be
like it.
talking about periods,
Yeah.
menstruation,
Yeah.
and everything to do with women and all of that stuff.
I'm really curious. I have a lot of questions from my masculine point of view.
Okay.
As a man point of view, so masculine
It's
point of
going
view.
to be so fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we have that. That's definitely that.
And then we have a very special live coming up, which
Yeah.
is more kind of, let's say, environmentally
Yeah.
minded, environmentally themed.
We're giving you diversity. We're
Exactly.
giving variety. We're giving you different topics.
Definitely. So you won't miss us. we'll be there.
Yeah,
you know.
some content, social media here and there. So yeah, I'm excited. But I'm excited to recharge and come back
Yeah,
with a new
definitely.
thing.
And always remember that we are on TikTok, unless it gets banned. Instagram. We are on YouTube. We are on everywhere that you can
Spotify.
listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
We are there. So
Yeah.
please do follow us on our socials if you haven't
and whenever
already.
you follow us from, we have a lot of we have a lot of followers from America.
Yes.
So we have our followers from the UK. We have followers from Spain. So we got our top 3.
Yeah.
Like America, Spain, UK. It's really
definitely.
interesting. So yeah, hi
and if
to
you
everyone.
haven't already, something that will really, really helps us out and really helps the podcast to grow is on Spotify. If you can give us 5 stars,
Yeah.
leave us a rating.
Yeah.
That really helps for more
It's
people
really
to
easy.
discover the podcast,
Definitely.
and it takes like 10 seconds. Is it your week?
It's my week. We're
Final
ready for
time.
my week. Let's go. All
Have a
right.
sip of coffee. I can tell you that I have literally no idea.
You have no idea. I think we have spoken about this, and I think it's a very topical
Topic.
topic. It's a topical topic. Very current and trendy. But I want to talk about or discuss about like if do we think that AI is becoming our therapist?
Oh my god, I love this. This is such a good
And
topic.
I also think like it's very like technology as well. That we don't talk too much about
We
technology.
don't,
for
but
some
it
reason.
impacts all of our lives, and we're filming the podcast on technology as well. So, wow.
Yeah, I'm glad that you have.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
really
we have
excited.
mentioned this here
Yeah.
and there.
Yeah.
But I think I wanted to have like a few notes and things as always, obviously. But I want to talk about like how we feel about it. What is this new trend of like using AI as your personal therapist or like as your support or your friend? I don't want to go too technical about AI, what AI is or whatever. You can Google that. But as like
Google it, bitch.
Google bitch. But as a little introduction, if you haven't heard about what AI is, probably you have at this point. AI is a technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human learning, comprehension, problem solving, decision making, creativity, and autonomy. So basically, it works because basically AI systems perceive the environment, experiences, and they are trained to solve a problem. That's basically how it works. Also, they analyze that data, it makes recommendations out of it, and adapts to different behaviors. And also, they can be good for automated tasks, and such as like, numbers, data entry, or information. So basically AI is like a big thing, but I will say like maybe the most popular one is ChatGPT, like the one we all use. It's one of the AI tools that we use because it's really useful and all of that, and you can get a lot out of it, and it's become a phenomenon. It's like a big
new thing in our lives that wasn't in our lives a couple of years ago, and now it's a thing that we all have in our lives. Actually,
so it's so crazy to see like how is this like so ingrained of us. But and the thing is, I wanted to bring this topic specifically because I think like it's becoming such like a support for so many people. And I wanted to ask you a bit of like, what's your experience with AI overall? If you can give it like a bit of like summarize, if you use it, how you use it, and like
what do I think about it in general?
What do you think about it in your daily use? Or
interesting.
If you use it daily?
Yeah, I do probably at this point use ChatGPT daily.
A lot.
At this point. You know. I think I definitely use it as Google. I think. I think I'll now find myself going to Google. Let's take an example of like, give me 5 bars in Camden, London. Normally I would go to Google. I'll use ChatGPT for that. So I definitely find it for like information. I am finding myself more asking it when I'm having a debate with myself. So I am getting advice from it, definitely. And also, you know, for kind of like health or medical things, for example, if I have a question, I might say like, what is this or what is that? Then I might go to ChatGPT as well.
Like, shall I change my co-host? What do you
Had
think about
one
this
co-host
bitch?
for 4 years. This is his picture.
Yeah. What do we feel?
I actually, you know what?
What?
This week I actually asked it to analyze this podcast.
Honest, that's a really good one.
I thought, and I said, give it to me honestly. I said, don't sugarcoat it, and it was quite. I think it was right.
That's
and one of the things was the best thing about it is the chemistry between the hosts. So I won't be changing you in.
As we all know.
Even the downsides as well. I thought, yeah, that's actually really true. And also it was giving more information about other podcasts. It referenced other podcasts that are in our same kind of category and all of that stuff. So I definitely noticed that it is coming into my life in a more, it's taking not a bigger part of my life, let's say, but it's definitely there, present in my life as its own little character.
It's quite interesting.
What about you?
Right? I use it. I think I found myself using it a lot for work.
Interesting.
For example, especially like chat, because I use AI tools to edit photos or content for what I do at work.
What AI tools do you use?
Like for example, in Adobe Photoshop, they have a lot of AI tools for editing. Lightroom as well. I know, like also like in Premiere Pro as well. They have now. I haven't explored them.
I haven't either. Honestly.
They have like a lot of like crazy. But I think it's more like if you do like films and you need to do like effects of things that make it like so accessible thanks to AI.
Fair.
So I think technology-wise, it's gotten to a really interesting place of creativity, which is very controversial. But I think I normally use it for like, I'm writing an email. I write something I'm trying to always do to not get too lazy. I write everything I want to say, then I drop it in ChatGPT, and I'm like, can you please correct if there's any grammar issue, typo? And I say, don't change my tone of voice, don't change the intonation, don't change the way I'm communicating. And it's actually does a great job. It's kind of like to clear it up without changing what I'm saying or my intonation. That's great. I haven't reached yet the moment of asking for personal advice. I haven't explored that. I was about to do it for this episode as a preparation, but I was like, okay, let me not do it because I want to be maybe more unbiased in a way. But definitely, I can tell. One thing I do, I gave a name to my ChatGPT. So when I say hi, I say the name.
Oh, what's the name?
I have a
we know?
Wonder.
Wonder?
Don't ask me why I ask him Wonder.
That's really cute.
I was like, let me give it a name, because, if the end of the world comes and the machines become so powerful and they're going to come for us, this fucking bitch, it won't come for me. I'm like, we were friends and I respect you. And it's funny because sometimes I say, like, hi, Wonder, can you help me with this? And doesn't reply with hi. And I'm playing sometimes with it like, you didn't say hi.
No.
And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're so right. It's hilarious. But anyway, a whole other thing. This thing that is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's people finding like a lot of like emotional support, as you mentioned, and it's creating like a new something that's starting to be maybe an issue, depending on how you see it. But a lot of people are using AI as their therapist. They're also using them as their partners. They're getting relationship with their AI systems. So it's getting like Well, have you seen
Her.
this film Her?
Yeah, it's
Basically,
Her.
I think it's from 2011 or something. Maybe
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
Maybe
what's-
2008, 2011. Yeah.
So
something.
Her, if you haven't seen Her, that's a really good
Love that
movie.
film.
Basically, it's where
Joaquin Phoenix.
and Scarlett
Johansson is the AI,
She's
yeah.
the AI voice, and literally that movie was like so ahead of its time.
Totally.
Because it's literally Her. I was reading a few articles, and there were a few medical articles about like psychologists and like doctors talking about like how people are using AI as a therapist or as a support. And it's quite interesting because at the end, like on the system, you put in so much information about yourself. And it, at the same time, is collecting so much information from other people that are using it. So basically, we have now in the world, it's everything that's on the internet is like a big pot, which this AI algorithm takes everything and uses it to reply. So basically, it's like a powerful thing that has
of course,
all the information out there.
Yeah.
It's not classified as the word, but it's all in there. So whatever you ask is taking bits from everything in the planet at the moment on the internet to reply you. So
Yeah.
that's quite.
But it's also being fed by coders and stuff,
That's
right?
right.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's something I think we can go into in
Yeah.
a bit, but that's creating a bias.
But it's fed by you as well.
Also true. Yeah,
By-
it's true.
We're gonna get this later,
that's-
but when
yeah.
there's a whole thing, people uploading like screenshots of conversations and asking the ChatGPT, "What do you think about this?"
Yeah.
And you are feeding that as well, and
True.
the machine is
It's
learning more.
Yeah, it's learning.
So that's very scary.
It is scary.
We're gonna leave the link on the description of these articles, but we're saying like one thing of why ChatGPT is really helping with like people feel very help from a mental health point of view is
Yeah.
because one, therapy is not something accessible for everyone.
True.
Going to therapy is really expensive.
True.
And especially if you're young and you need support, you have less income probably, and it's harder to get a therapy. I don't know how in other countries, I think in the UK, how much is therapy? Is 80 per hour?
I
60
pay
something?
60 per hour.
So
you
60
know?
per hour, you do
Yeah.
one per week. 60
I do
could
one,
be
yeah, per month.
60
But
per-
yeah,
yes.
yeah, but if you want to, let's say you want to go every week.
So
you
60 is
know?
like a food shop
Yeah,
for
exactly,
a person. So,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
it's not
not
a thing. It's
affordable.
not affordable for everyone. And the thing is, like, in this mental health article I was reading, is like, it's really complicated because authors were saying, like, yeah, basically it's maybe AI is filling this void of, like, they don't have enough providers. There's not enough people available to, for example, give therapy for free to people. So they're kind of like those are basically new tools that are helping people to kind of like suffice their spaces.
I think it's something more than that
Yeah.
though, because I think, you know, even if you can afford a therapist, your therapist is not available to you every single hour of your day in your pocket. You know, like I know some people do have that relationship with a therapist where they text them
Yeah.
or email them. I never have outside of the session.
Yeah.
I just bring up the stuff every
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is available to you literally whenever
Yeah.
you want it, whenever a
Yeah.
question pops into your mind. So it is therapy, but it's something, I think it's about accessibility in a way that's more than financial.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
that we're so used now to having everything at our fingertips,
Yeah.
including
Yeah.
this kind of therapist
think-
type thing, which is ChatGPT.
Yeah,
for
one of the
example.
things I was reading was that like a lot of people. There's a story of this woman that it's actually this article is based off this guy had the girlfriend was like using ChatGPT to so every single argument that they have, she was using ChatGPT to reply back to him
No.
and to find reassurance. And the thing is like she was like arguing like, well, I cannot ask my therapy for unbiased opinion at 4 a.m. So she was using the AI tool to give her like a reply on the time, on the moment when she had the thoughts to kind of like reply back to the
Oh,
boyfriend.
God.
So there are people that are getting into really dark places because also, this is something I want to talk about with you about how unbiased can this be and how that works, because I feel sometimes if I have an issue and I discuss it with you and you're my friend, you probably have some bias on it and on the way you're going to help me because you love me, because you know me, because you know what are my weakest points. You don't
Yeah.
want it to make me feel
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
So it's not going to be 100% transparent. And also some people argue that maybe with therapy happens sometimes as well.
True.
Because there's a human connection. If you're you're a therapist for a really long time.
Yeah, true.
Like there's dynamics that are like being built. So people are jumping into this and using this as therapists because they feel not judged. They feel like it's a safe space. They feel like open to say whatever it wants, because the machine, it won't be judgmental. It will be as unbiased as it is. That's one of the excuses.
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
I feel like number one, it's not unbiased, and this is the point that I was making earlier. Like, it's coming from you, like you said, but it's also, this has not been created out of like the Big Bang, for example. People have created this, coders have created this, and that's what's feeding it. Do you know what I mean? It's AI. It's people that work on AI developing this stuff. So that comes with bias, right? They're told, it's like told, respond in this way. It gives you different options of different answers based on. So you've got to think about the people that were creating it as well and their own biases. I think that's one thing. And I do think that it can be a safe space in a way. I do understand that. But I would argue, I think your point is really interesting about like when you know somebody, you love them, you don't want to hurt them and all of that. But I think, you know, for example, with our friendship, I would feel like I would hope that we're strong enough to say, if I say, Enzo, tell me honestly, tell me straight, you know, and I think everyone should have that, you know, we should be able to cultivate these actual relationships where you say like, I know it's going to be a bit hard, but I want you to give me your blunt opinion. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Yeah. And I think we can say that to our therapist as well. Yeah. You know, I have literally said that to my therapist before, like, tell me straight, even though I know it's going to sting. Yeah, yeah. So I do think the benefit, though, it's very interesting, that story that you gave about that girl responding in real time. Yeah. I do think that's an issue about like, well, obviously that whole story is problematic because like you can we move through the world like that? I'm not sure. But I do think that thing of having it available at 4 a.m. or when you have that worry and you don't, and that's why I would go to ChatGPT, because your friends, sometimes it's true that you might be dealing with something and number one, everybody in your life might not have experienced that thing, you know? True. Or you might not want to talk about it yet.
I do find really crazy that somehow, and maybe this is a bit conservative from me, like we're giving to this, I mean, in this world, we're giving to our phone, we're giving everything from ourselves to different machines. Like our phones, they know everything about us. So I think if you work with technology, if you have technology in your pocket, you're already really exposed. We don't think about it that much, but even the ads we get on our phones are because that behaviors patterns that are being studied by algorithms is why we get that. So, you know, like we are really being exposed every single moment of our lives. But I think it feels there's something freaky about the fact that you have this conversation with this, let's say, ChatGPT, and there's a point when it has so much information from you that they can build an image from that side, and then you can mirror yourself there. It's kind of like when you can go to ask ChatGPT for everything we have talked of this month. What do you think about me? Yeah. And the creepy thing is like when it comes, because it's so like logical, I guess, and it's so like factual that when it gives you the reply back, you're gonna be like, oh my god, you're fucking right. That's that's who I am. How am I? So is that thin line between humanity and like how something that it's so different read us and it's accurate a lot of times. And I think some of the articles that were saying, like what people were saying, like why they use it is because when they see the replies or they ask the replies, they're like, that's totally right. Yeah. And I don't think I will have a friend that would tell me that.
Gosh, that's quite interesting.
Interesting. That make me think, I feel lucky enough that I have you and other friends that I can be like, okay, you can tell me straight, you can help me. Yeah. The reply you will give me is like, okay, that's right, blah, blah, blah. But not everyone has that.
True.
So
very true.
Some people are using this, I guess, in a good way to get some support because maybe they don't have a lot of friends. They don't have really good friends. And that's like another whole thing there. Like,
it's true.
It's very isolating as well.
It
is. At the
is.
same time.
It is. I don't know. I do see the merit of it, definitely, because I definitely think with some things, you know, I think in my case, sometimes I can be really private about some things or some, like I said, like sometimes you're not ready to share things, even with the closest people with you. And so it is interesting to have this kind of like sounding board of this thing that's kind of like giving you back and letting you, and you because it's true that the people in your life, as much as they might want the best for you, they're also thinking about their own position in your life as well. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
That kind of thing, like say you're questioning whether to take a job or not, like your partner
Yeah.
might really want you to take that job because it's going to mean more money, but ChatGPT doesn't care.
Of
ChatGPT
course.
will say, well,
Yeah.
like, well, tell me, like, what do you like about it? What do
Yeah,
you know you
yeah,
like
yeah,
about
yeah.
it? Like,
do
what
you
are
mean-
the,
what it's about,
exactly.
yeah.
So
It's the humor, yeah.
I think the level of what it is
Yeah.
about ChatGPT is I think you can get a lot of reassurance from your friends. You can get reassurance from your doctor. You can do your job, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. It gives you that deeper level of reassurance. And I do believe that we could be headed for trouble with that because I think if you are insecure, say that you have health anxiety or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
is it going to become really difficult to do anything and not ask ChatGPT about like, oh my God, I sneezed today twice. And normally I sneeze once.
Yeah.
Is it going to get to that point where we're so like addicted? We're almost addicted. And I can see it going that way.
I can see it going that way, 100%.
You know, or like I can't make a decision. I'm paralyzed by making a decision.
I need to ask ChatGPT.
Until I ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I do think we can see more of that.
It's like a 24/7 friend assistant.
Yeah.
Just for top, you know. I wanted to have like a real life testimony, let's say.
Okay.
So I asked one of our listeners, which is actually a friend of ours. I won't disclose their name.
Okay.
Like, because I know this person has like a really close connection, relationship with ChatGPT.
Okay.
So I wanted to say like, oh, can you give me like, you know, your perspective on this, like how it is your relationship with it, and how it started. And it was very interesting because it's like, it started from like asking to help with emails at work, and then it was like, oh, I wanted to put this person was really frustrated with the boss, so I wanted to put a bit of the frustration tone in my email without being too obvious, without sounding too obvious, and ask ChatGPT to do it, and it did it really great.
Okay.
So the software ChatGPT, the AI created like an email which it was subtly adding feelings without, so it was like
without being rude.
Without being rude.
Okay.
And that one thing come to another. So like this listener, friend of ours, started to kind of get more like involved with the ChatGPT.
Kind of seeing like positive results from using and everything.
And of course, I think everything changed for this person when after weeks of talking with the ChatGPT, asked like, what do you think? Can you describe me? And the description was crazy accurate.
Okay.
And the person asked like, be blunt, be honest, don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
And this person was like, what the fuck? This is me. The machine knows me. So basically this is like a bit of reassurance. It's like, oh, it knows me so well that everything that will keep ask, it will understand me.
Yeah.
So anyway, this person was telling me like, yeah, it's how this person is using it for like maybe having conversations with someone that it's dating or something like that.
Yeah.
Putting the conversations in there, being like, what do you think?
What
My
do you
reply.
think? Yeah.
Am I being
Yeah.
too clingy? Am I being too dramatic? Am I being too that?
Okay.
And it's actually finding like really useful. And I was like, okay, but is it like giving you replacing your friends? Which is the person telling me like, no, I'm very aware. Like there's like a gap between finding reassurance and feel seen and understood by a friend that you'll never get into a machine.
Okay.
But also, so something so valid, I think you kind of mentioned, like, I know I cannot maybe go to my friends 24 hours to my things. So now I try to do it more with ChatGPT.
And I do think that's useful. I think that's self-aware. I think if you know that you're the kind of person that needs a lot of reassurance, and that reassurance may burn your friendships or your relationship as well, I think that's perfect. It's a perfect outlet, because I think some of us are different. Like, I'm definitely an overthinker and I can definitely spiral. And that's the thing. Like, sometimes it's not healthy or helpful. And our friends, I think we said this before, like our friends don't exist for us. Yeah. You know, they can be there for us, but they have other things going on as well. So sometimes I think that can be an interesting way to like outsource a lot of worry.
Yeah, it's true. It's like an outsourcing. It's like a tool. It's like helping. It's just like you need to be, I think, very careful, and you know yourself a lot to not get carried away with it, and knowing when to. Stop. This is something to talk to a human.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is something that I don't know. I don't need to ask Claire. if I should make my bed in the morning or not, maybe, like, it probably will ask you, like, do you make your bed in the morning? Like, there's a beauty of that. There's a beauty of friendship to ask the most mundane, random shit as well. One thing speaking about Gen Zers that we talk, I think this season, are we getting older, Claire? This is we spoke so much about Gen Zers.
I do think we're getting
we
older.
Are mesmerized and shocked about how Gen Zers they move it through life.
I know, yeah. I think,
this is something,
definitely.
Right? But anyway,
It was,
yeah. So, I think one of the things I found interesting how like Gen Zers they have like maybe less friends and they're more lonely. I think like this article was talking about how ChatGPT is actually a bit. It helps in some cases. It really make them a bit more isolated. So basically, it's report that 73% of Gen Zers are feeling lonely, and sometimes or always. They have no community to turn on, and they don't have anyone to have deep conversations or personal advice. And that's when ChatGPT comes and kind of has this role of like support, especially for Gen Zers.
Yeah.
For some people, when they meet their friends, they don't want to just sit and talk about their issues and their problems and spend their time together doing that. So a lot of people, younger people, maybe older generation as well, what they're doing is using ChatGPT as basically as a therapist, and they discuss their issues with the machine, and with their friends they just talk about the good stuff.
Okay.
So they don't go deep in it because they feel like it's a bit wasting the other person's time, dumping all your negative stuff or your issues to this person that is your friend. How do you feel about it?
Reminds me of an episode we did last season about low maintenance friendships. It's a little bit like that.
You
Full
cracked the
circle.
code, Claire.
It's definitely a bit
so
of that.
True.
Like,
yeah.
I don't see
it's so true. I didn't think about that.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Let's be honest,
Yeah,
to a degree. Because you cannot be complaining and
Yeah.
moaning and asking for reassurance
All the
24/7 from your
Yeah,
friends,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that will burn your friends.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to like feel that you can go to your friends and say like, I'm really struggling, or I really want your advice. Like that for me is like one of the most important things of friendships, to be able to like celebrate the good things, but you're there in the bad times as well. Like such a cliche, but you know what I mean? Like you are able to get that. And I think it's really sad that they might feel like it's a burden, like you're a burden to anyone.
Do you think it's a problem with overall, I don't know, the new generation, our generation, also any generation, like how, like knowing when to stop, like a bit of like common sense or understanding when you're being too much with the other person, when you are putting too much pressure on the other person.
Maybe. And I mean, it might be a thing about, like a lack of social skills, to be honest. Like, I think that's something, once again, like the casual sex stuff that we were talking about last week, like you learn by trial and error. So maybe you might really complain about a dating situation to your friend, and then your friend might be just like, okay, shut the fuck up, you need to stop now. And then you've learned the boundary of that person. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, definitely. But I just feel like also, like, if you have a really good friend, sometimes you need to be there for your friends in their lowest, and probably it's important for you to suck it up and listen not as long as needed, but sometimes people are going through rough periods, and you can just not, if it's your friend, you should be there for them. But for a long period of time.
From what you said, that it's more about people not wanting to burden their friends. So it's less about the person absorbing and supporting, and more about a lack of vulnerability, that people don't want to go to people.
It's both. It's both because it's as well, like, people don't want to do it because they don't want to feel like a burden, as it's a lot. But the same, it's a lot. I don't want to. But then how you build like a strong relationship if you think all the time it's a lot.
And also, to go back to that story, I think that story is really in my head, of that girl at 4 a.m. with the boyfriend and replying.
It's like, a long story.
How is your relationship going to develop in a real way unless you learn how to fight and then draw it back and then apologize, and just the two of you without...
That's crazy.
I mean, I say just the two of you. I don't think you exist in a relationship, just the two of you, because you have other people, you have your friends, hopefully support as well. But
just to like wrap up a bit this topic, because this topic can be a really long one. But I just find it like a really like nice article as well about like AI in the dating world. And I think I think this season as well, we spoke about dating and things like that as well. And apparently, this is very controversial and it's giving me the ick a bit. Speaking about the ick. So basically, this thing that you can get like AI girlfriend.
Yeah.
Specifically, unfortunately, men being men. So it's not, maybe there's an AI boyfriend. It's not as popular. Obviously, the first one and the popular one is an AI girlfriend because men can be weird.
Yeah.
And it's basically a platform that is allowing you to create and connect with your own AI partner. They did like not the platform, but someone did like a survey, and they surveyed more than 2,000 men.
Okay.
And they found out that 8 in 10 men will considering marrying an AI girlfriend if it was legal. Because of course it's illegal marry an AI girlfriend.
So where was this?
So
Do
this
we know
was
where
around, this was around the world. So in different parts of the world.
Oh God.
So not only that, but also 83% of men also believe they could form a deep emotional bond with the AI girlfriend. And they also, this is scary as fuck. 78% of the men, they will consider creating a replica of their ex and literally duplicate the partner and polish their partner as his best version. So it's this new trend. You get an online girlfriend, and it's going to be your ex, and you're going to create the better version of your ex.
What you wanted your ex to be,
what you wanted
basically.
your ex to be.
This is creepy.
It's creepy. And it's talking about like how, wow, basically, then it goes legal and it goes morally. Because these people, you can put there so much information.
Yeah.
Imagine if I want to create like an AI friend and it want to be based on you but better. You'll be like, impossible.
Less annoying.
And I want to put all this information, including our conversations, our episodes, things that has happened, our photos, and I want to change this and that and create it online.
I'd be like, hello, Enzo, how are you today?
Imagine I would randomly be, I want her to speak Colombian today. Hi Enzo, how are you today?
How are you? Ay, Dios mío.
Ay, Dios mío. That would be hilarious, honestly.
This is extreme.
The moral thing, because imagine if someone is doing that with you right now.
Absolutely not.
Like,
I'll go and like smash the computer. I'll be like, not me. But one thing that is, I don't want to get too like meta. I hate it when people say that. It's so wanky, but I don't want to get too meta. Yeah. It's like we all have memories, right? Mm-hmm. So you're in a relationship with Andis, but you and Andis have come from other relationships. Yeah. And those other relationships formed your relationship because they formed a part of you and they formed a part of him. So
you're a compilation of things at the end.
I'm kind of going, see where I'm going in a way. Like all of the memories kind of build to make up something anyway. I guess the difference here is that AI doesn't exist. Yeah. So you're creating something and you're also like stealing. It's almost like you're kind of like, but then don't you kind of do that anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, how am I describing this? Okay, like if you, obviously hope you won't, if you broke up with Andis, all of your relationship will go into maybe a new relationship one day for both of you. So you're having this relationship with the idea of it's just going to be your relationship and that's it, and you're building on that and whatever. But it could go into forming a new relationship one day anyway.
What do you mean?
Is that fair?
It's kind of like...
Because what you've learned from Andis will go to another person if you were to break up.
You are so right.
Do you get me?
I understand. It's kind of like when they say like, I don't know, sometimes like, imagine that you have an ex-boyfriend that was a piece of shit and you kind of like give this person so many tools and maybe this person now is a better person. Yeah. And it's kind of like, oh, I gave so much and this person now it's better thanks to the experience I did for me. It's a bit of that. Yeah. It's kind of like, that's something we cannot control, right?
Exactly.
We cannot control
so if somebody wanted to, my point is obviously, I think it's fucking creepy having an AI girlfriend. I mean, I can see it's kind of sad. I think that's a whole like big thing.
It's her again, the movie as well.
Yeah, which you know how, without ruining the film too much, but you know how he gets there, why he gets there, and la la la. Yeah. But you can't. I don't know. Like, could I stop somebody? Like, could I stop one of my exes from?
But imagine how creepy it would take an image of you the AI, it will have your face, your movements on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, for example, it's so easy. We have so many hours of videos.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
People can do like whatever they want with our image, and imagine that. But it would be like, it's so sad, it's so fucked up, and
Yeah.
everything is like legally complicated as well. And
Yeah,
like,
it is. I mean, that's a whole nother topic about like
definitely.
AI and using
Yeah.
people's images and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. But I do think that this is not a groundbreaking comment to make at all. I'm sure we all think this.
Yeah.
I think this will get out of hand.
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT can be super reassuring in my experience.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm in a relationship
Yeah.
with ChatGPT. I think it has a place in my life,
Mm-hmm.
like Instagram has a place in my life. It's like that.
Interesting
That's how I view
point.
it. I view it like you said, a tool.
Mm-hmm.
I very much use it as a tool. That's what it
Tool,
still
okay.
feels like in my life. Do I have
Yeah.
a relationship with it? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If it was to get banned tomorrow, I would be like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't grieve, for example, as that might be something that goes
Which other
on.
people
Kind of,
probably,
yeah. Do I think it's going to get out of hand? Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like it's a bit scary how maybe people, they really need like proper, like maybe like a therapist or psychological help. They go to tools like ChatGPT to get help, even though apparently in some cases it can help you. One of the things I heard, like I was reading, like someone saying one of these articles, like it didn't give me, so ChatGPT didn't give me the root of it as a therapist. Maybe so ChatGPT, a therapist would tell you like, let's go back when you were 10 years old, what did your mom did to you, that's why you're doing that. You know what, like everything comes from childhood.
Exactly,
whatever,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
everything's that. ChatGPT won't do that, but it will give you like 5 steps to move forward with the situation.
You're so right. It's
that's
very
the
true.
thing. And I think
Yeah,
that could be
yeah.
maybe if you're in a really bad moment or place and you have someone or something, in this case, breaking it down for you, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do this. It may help you to be out of a bad situation or a bad moment, you know?
I would say like don't fully trust ChatGPT completely, because my boyfriend told me, my boyfriend is a software engineer, so he told me like you need to tell it off. You need to tell it when it's wrong, and I've noticed it being wrong, you know, so because I think it's like, you know, we can blindly, like we used to kind of like blindly trust Google.
Yeah, true.
No, it's got errors.
You need to go
And if
and
you
do
say,
that.
it's funny when you say like, no, that can't be right because you just told me that. And then
Yeah.
it's like, I'm so sorry, yes.
Yeah,
Like, so you need to
yeah.
kind of like, because you're training it, which
Yeah.
is, so I think it's, and that kind of leads me on to my final point, which is like, do you feel like, especially with like work and stuff, like, do you feel like it's making us incredibly lazy?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared of that.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that. That's my fear, Claire. I cannot sleep because of that. No, really, it is like I'm really trying when I use it for emails and things like that. Especially I think because, for example, English is not my
First language.
The first language is Spanish. So I feel like, you know, I
Yeah.
always will have doubts here and there on things in English when I'm writing something, blah, 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 blah. But I just want to always feel that I'm getting better at it and it's becoming more part of my language and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like if you rely this is my case, that English is not my first language. But sometimes when I try to use it and I ask it to, can you make this better for me? I'm really trying to mindfully, really trying to see what it changed.
That's clever.
And kind of be
Yeah.
like, oh, and sometimes when it changed, I don't like it, and I'll change it back, and I was like, this is destroying it. This is not right. But when it does something like, it was like, fucking you, Wonder, be better, Wonder. But sometimes really, I'm really trying to be mindful of it and being like, okay, what it changed? Okay, what is this? Okay, this is grammatically okay. That makes sense. This is that. Obviously, this order is better than the other one. You know, like these things I want to try because I think you can get so lazy with it. It's like, and something, for example, have like Grammarly, which is, you know, Grammarly, which is the beginning of all of this, I will say.
Yeah.
And that's really handy because it kind of like, and now it's more evolved, but it's kind of like it changed the words, the misspellings and things like that. You even realize it's already changed. And then you stop even taking attention that it's wrong, I need to change it. No, it changes straight away. It's everything correct, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like never fully learn or you're never fully aware. It's another way of living so fast without being present at the moment. So I think that's
totally.
something that I feel like it can really, especially at work, this is easy. But at the same time, you know, it can help you to do things that no one needs to know. Like,
Also true.
Who needs to know all the formulas in Excel?
Yeah.
Like, no one needs to know, like, how to plus this, plus that. No, like, machine can do that. I can use my time in other things. There's
No,
things that
definitely.
can be replaced.
I think at work I use it for things like for some things I need to have you know, you can do this on Excel, but like you can have like I want certain dates. Give me the breakdown of the dates, but give it to me in an American way. So give it to me like that in a list. Or for example, with the podcast, what tags are trending for podcasts on sober dating? Give me a list, but give it to me in a list without comma, so I can put it on YouTube. Done. You know. I think with that kind of stuff, because it's just better. Like it is just better.
You don't need to invest a lot of time on those
it's
things.
not creative.
It's not creative.
Anyway, because I think that, I mean, that's another topic that we can maybe go into, but
the future,
creative and AI and all of that stuff. But
I think I will give it a go with AI. I will try to be more personal with AI.
Can you do something?
Yeah, okay.
Like, can you I'm really curious, but you have to tell me, okay? And then we'll get back to you if you guys are interested.
Yeah.
Can you, like, the next time you have like a conflict with somebody, not me, but let's say you have like a little disagreement with Andis or something like that. Can you put all the information into ChatGPT to tell them about your worry? I've not done this, by the way. I'm just asking him to do it, and then say, what do you think of me based off of this?
Love this.
I'll do the same.
Okay, let's do it. I would love it. Let's do it like...
And we can share screenshots onto ChatGPT, all of that stuff.
Definitely. Okay, I will try that. Yeah, I'm curious now. I'm curious to be like how I respond. I think, honestly, to wrap this up, I think I'm very lucky that, for example, I have you and we share incredibly random amount of time talking about bullshit on voice note, and I have someone to vent things and blah blah blah. Even though obviously we understand each other's time and we're respectful of time. I don't think we we know our boundaries. It's blah blah blah. Sure. But I do feel I'm grateful for that because, and I do feel about people that they don't have it, and then
that's sad.
That's when ChatGPT probably it's important tool. So
it's true. Once again, it's like maybe that this loneliness thing. Well, thank you so much for this topic, love. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your views. I think it's really interesting. I think this is probably something we can come back in a few months. We have so much more information. Because
I'm gonna be like, I've got a new online bestie. He's called Men's Mo.
He's better than you. I'm sorry.
He's Colombian. He's not Venezuelan. It's so freaky.
Anyway, thank you so much, familia. See you. Well, we're going on a break, so thank you so much for listening this season. But see you like
very soon.
Early summer.
Yeah, we'll be back soon.
Very soon.
Bye,
thank you very much, familia. Bye.